book. So, but if you really want to go hardcore, and there's Aaron Leach right here. Look at this model. This is almost like if you want to go for the modern Golden Dawn technique. Aaron Leach he's a great writer. He's a big influence on me. I love this book. I mean, this doesn't just go into Goetia. This is all the grimoires. This book really basically just kind of like revolutionized it. And Aaron's a great writer. I love this book. I use it as a reference now. I mean, he is the one who's going to be like telling you the history and the myth, and that King Solomon didn't exist, and actually, you probably just need this one book. And if you want to if you had these two books, I think you'd be great. I think it'd be great if you had these two books. That would be my route, if I was just getting into this, would be to get Aaron Leach's book, Stephen Sevdo's book. Between those two, I mean, this is a quick reference because you don't want to grab. This is kind of hard. This is like the big, that's a theme I've seen in studying magic. Is you got a big tome and then you got a little thing that you go around with. I think that's a little reference. This is a really good reference. I think this is a great reference, and this also will go into. But what I'm getting at here is, I don't think you even need to go the route of this. I mean, it's good too, of course. Education is great. I don't think you need to go to these or this is like J. Kent Stratton's book, Gia Sophia, and this is this is another good primer or just it builds on you. It's got a really nice picture there, you can see. But yeah, J. Kent Stratton is great too. I'm trying to shout out all these people because I got a podcast and. I've been doing every week. I'm excited about it. I hope to invite some of these men and women on, because there is some women that write about this. I don't know if I have the authors around here, but it does seem like there is a lot of men. But I don't want to say. I'm inviting everybody. I've got a lot of ideas with the podcast. So anyway, getting back to Goetia, this is the huge tome. I can't recommend it enough. If I had, because I don't want to give criticism, but. Me and Aaron Leach go back a bit because I studied Enochian and on Facebook and stuff mostly. Aaron Leach, I'm going to forward this to all these authors. And I told Aaron I was going to do a review of his book and a cursory review. He's a great guy. I think he's funny online and stuff. He's traditional. So me as a chaos magician and being more into chaos and stuff, he doesn't like that, and he doesn't consider chaos magic probably like a real tradition or current of magic or whatever. Which you could argue, sure. You could say that magic doesn't even exist anymore because we have enough technological know-how to know that it's all psychological technology and magic doesn't exist. So I'm not fighting for terminology or anything like that. I think where this is really coming from though, which is cool. Is Aaron Leach? He's dedicated a lot to the Golden Dawn tradition. And that's been fragmented too, just like the OTO. And there's people that are claiming that are in the OTO and not. This guy's a real. If you want to join the Golden Dawn and go down that route, this would be a guy I'd trust him. I'd recommend him. That's not what I want to do. Obviously, I'm not going to fit into Golden Dawn. But if anybody wanted to do that, here's the thing, and this is not just with Aaron, but with a lot of people. They get somebody like Aaron, he goes through the Golden Dawn and goes through all these initiations and all this. He invests a lot of time and money and meditation practice and all that kind of stuff. And this is great. It's almost like becoming, a modern day like monk or something. Or you could say, somebody goes to Tibet and, does all this meditation in the Eastern traditions, or you could do yoga or whatever, so you do all this stuff for all these years and you build up, a source of power for your magic. Which the reason these people hate chaos magicians and people that go that route or into that route kind of, is that, whoever created us, the gods or the god or whatever you want to believe in, our creator or our self-creation or whatever, we have built into us mostly as a source of power that's more powerful more powerful or the same level as somebody who studied for 30 years like that. And that's our sexuality. And that's why you see chaos magic has a reputation for just, drawing sigils drawing, making up symbols like these or whatever, your own personal symbols, and then having sex, having sexual activity around them, whether it's the solo activity or with a partner or whatever. The reason that the in my experience, in my communing with the spirits, the reason that this happens, and that's just why religions try to control sexuality, especially with the women and stuff like that. A lot of times, well, men and women, I guess, but because of the patriarchy. But religions will always try to control sexuality because of this reason. It's a source. It's red magic. It's when people start getting sexual, the spirits come around naturally because they're sensing that there's a possibility that they can come into this world either through coming through our consciousness and other humans' consciousness, or possibly being born because people are having sex, even if it's not going to happen, if it's a solo thing where it's not going to present a pregnancy. Those energies still draw spirits. Those spirits can be communed with, and and you don't even need to talk about it. It all just kind of automatically happens. The fourth power of the Sphinx is silence. You don't need to articulate how it all works, but it does work. So basically, it is kind of funny, but I feel like, imagine somebody going through all this stuff for 30 years, 20 years, and, to get their magic practice up and do all this. And this is, this is talked about too by Genesis P. Ogridge in the Psychic Bible. He's saying how, people that are into the Golden Dawn, because this is back, he wrote this back in the 90s, and people that were into these hardcore traditions, OTO, Golden Dawn, they think they need to do all this stuff, and then some chaos magician guy comes along and just says, I'm just gonna use my sexuality this way, and which I probably do anyway. So so it just kind of confounds the whole to do magic you have to do all this. You have to go through a lodge, you got to go through initiations and this and that. So, but Aaron Leach, I think, like I said, if you want to go down that route, and he's doing things right. I think he's doing things right. It's just like, people could shortcut you and don't get too much hard feelings, and don't, there's been other conflicts between Aaron. I hope those are all cleared up. I think he's gotten into some argument. He just wants to tell people to do things right. And I understand he wants to follow the astrology, which is great. Follow, my girlfriend's an astrologer. I use her for my practices. I'll ask her what's the timing and stuff. So there is, he's right with all this stuff. And if you want to get into Goetia, I'll probably more like use Steve's book here and just go through a step-by-step way to try to get into it. But I really encourage you, and I'll do some more videos on trying to, get a base education. I'm sorry, I don't know if you're in the United States or whatever, you really have to take charge of your own education. If you went to elementary school in the United States, that was just kind of like government, they're just trying to tell you how the government will control you and how you have to behave to like not go to a camp and go to prison or whatever. Maybe they don't even teach you that much, but in LA, but that's what, it's not an education. They're not going to teach you how to handle learning the Goetia in a U.S. elementary education, even whatever you want to do. So you'd have to get and I'm not advertising myself either. You get into any of these authors, I'm sure, can walk you through this. Myself, I worked with Lon Miley Duquette to make sure that I didn't go crazy or whatever, or get these demons destroying my life, which, and I'm not saying Lon is the best either. Things happen to him too. When you mess with this stuff, that's the thing is, you're playing with these demons, you're conjuring demons, the same way that you would draw like a stray dog and make the dog your pet and feed him and do things like that and be nice to him. And then he'll protect you and he'll also take care of your garbage. Like when you're done with your food, you can do that. So you don't have to let it sit around and get ants and stuff if you don't want to eat it. So that's, it's almost like you're making these things your pets. They're unseen beings. They're the same kind of beings that we would call angels or demons. They're these spirit forms that, similar to the dead, but not the dead. But these are the things that you're trying to that you're trying to get to. You're trying to say, okay, I'm gonna get, and let me get I don't know if I have the illustrations here, but some of these appear, and they didn't appear to me like this, but some of these appear very bizarrely. So this is, people have seen these, so this is like something that may appear to you. I mean, so people say, is it real? Do you really want to conjure? I mean, if you get something like this, do you really want to see that in real life? Have you ever really seen something in real life like that? I mean, and then, it's not going to be like you can video it or you can like show people most of the time. I mean, you may get something in the smoke or something, but you're not. The thing is people get hung up on results, and then when they really get the results, they probably get scared and get out of it. So that's the thing is don't worry about that. I mean, look at this. Check that. I mean, I don't know, on TikTok this might be kind of too much, but I might have to blur that out. But so these are some of the drawings of Aleister Crowley about conjuring these demons. Imagine getting this thing like a stray dog and trying to just cajole it, be nice to it, and what are the benefits of a pet? Companionship, protection, alarm. These are the kind of things that these kid spirits can do. They just, it's silent. They're not flesh like animals, but they're spirit. So this is kind of like spirit wrangling, spirit whispering. It's shamanism. Shamanism was like that before. And Aaron goes into this too. Aaron goes into like all of the whole history of shamanism and how it ties into this medieval shamanism. So this is my video on Goetia. I'll try to go more into it. I hope I collected my thoughts okay on it. Like I said, I would recommend, just for your own sanity and your own safety, to give this respect just the same way you would do like a martial art or something. I mean, this is, or like training an animal, a serious animal trainer. Like, take this like you're training an attack dog. Take this like you're learning to train animals, or you're learning to train spirits, and teach them to do tricks and teach them to do things to create your reality. That's what Goetia is. That's what all theurgy is. That's what theurgy just means, talking to spirits. All theurgy, all astral projection, all talking to other things. It's in the imagination. It's all just, some of it's in your own head, but what isn't in your own head? What are you seeing that isn't in your own head? You think that there's somehow this is not just through your eyes and in your head? It's all your head. Imagination, your mind, your hardcore mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and what's really going on. It doesn't know. It doesn't have eye. It's a separate thing. It's kind of guiding you, your subconscious. So this is what this is all about. If you want to get into it, feel free to hit me up. If you want to I want to go on a podcast to talk about this too, but this is my take on Goetia. It's a bit long. I'll probably have to cut it into 3 different videos to put it on TikTok. I probably can't even put some of this on TikTok. I'll make it banned for the some of the Aleister Crowley drawings. So anyway, this is Guion. I'm out. Let me please, help me get my content out there. Tell me your opinions. See you later.